Madhava Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you so much, Sarah Prabhuji, for singing. So we'll start with the session with the opening prayers. Om Ajnanathimiraandasya Gnananjala-shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Menam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunantanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Shahe Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vacha Kalpata Rupesya Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to everyone. This week I'll be taking the class. My name is Aishwarya. So Bhumika Mataji was not able to join us because she had a boat festival to attend at a local ISKCON. So thank you so much, Bhumika Mataji, for giving me this opportunity, and also Ashish Prabhuji. So Hare Krishna to all devotees. Today we'll be discussing a very important verse, as you all know. Okay, it is 4.17. It's very well versed, and I'm pretty sure all of you have heard this verse from different speakers in so many different ways. So it's a bit unfair on me because I'm not able to do my best with this verse, because we have heard so many good versions of this. Okay, so I'll try my best to explain this verse. So who would like to read the verse? Yes, Mataji. Just a second, I'll just start sharing the screen. Yeah. Yes, Mataji, you can start with the shloka and the translation. Mataji, you're unmuted. I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharat abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji, also translation.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or discernment of Bharat and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I discerned myself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So first we'll discuss this, Mataji, and then you can continue with the purport. Yeah. So it's a pretty straightforward. Okay. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious principle or descent of Bharata and a predominant rise of religion, at that time Krishna will descend himself, okay, on the earth. So in this, the very significant word over here is dharmasya. Okay. Often dharmasya is actually said in English dictionary terms. Okay. Dharma, okay, means religion or some kind of faith, okay, which someone believes in. So when dharma translates to faith, okay, what happens in this situation is that faith is something that can change from person to person, right? So example, faith is something I believe on, right? So if I believe, saying I believe on Buddhism, okay, where I feel like doing meditation, okay, is what brings me peace, and I want to become a vegetarian, okay, because for environmental reasons, then that makes me a vegan activist. So all of this is called belief system, okay. So according to English dictionary, when dharma means religion and religion translates to faith, faith is something we believe on. This is not what real religion is. So Srila Prabhupada keep emphasizing in all his lectures that the real purpose of dharma, or the real translation of dharma, is not religion, okay. Even in his translation, okay, in this shloka, we can see he doesn't translate dharma as religion. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says dharma is occupational duty, right? Or true nature, what it actually means. See over here the translation, dharmasya, of religion. Dharmasya. Okay. So over here, Prabhupada, sorry, he continues to say that religion is actually like our occupational duty. Like before, okay, we had the four Varnashrama dharmas, right? The Kshatriya, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras and Brahmanas, right? So these were our occupational duties. But what is our occupational duty in Kali Yuga? Occupational duty. What is the actual duty that we're supposed to perform? Does anyone know?
Hare Krishna. Mataji, Hari Nam Sankirtan.
Yeah, that is the yajna of the yuga, right, Prabhuji? Like it was Sankirtan yajna, right? But what is the occupational duty we all are inclined to? Like, what is our real duty? Even to all, yes.
Service to God.
Yes, exactly. So we all are eternal servant to Lord Sri Krishna, right? That is what Bhagavad Gita tells. It is like we all are servants of Krishna, and our aim is to go back to Godhead, right? So different religions have different principles. For example, some religions, okay, for them meat eating is okay, but then drinking alcohol is not okay. In some religions, both meat eating is not good, or killing of animals is not allowed, and no type of intoxication is allowed. So different religions follow different things. So we are not supposed to tell that like our religion, our dharma is Hinduism, or our dharma is. Dharma means occupational duties, a set of rules and regulations that were set. Okay, for example, Bhagavad Gita is our dharma. Like that is the occupational duty we have to do, right? So dharma means following the duties that were given to us by Lord Krishna. For example, there are different kinds of duties that were told in Bhagavad Gita. So we started from karma yoga, right? So Krishna never jumped directly to bhakti yoga. That is the ultimate aim. So first he started with karma yoga, karma kanda. Slowly we learned about ashtanga yoga and all the other yogas, and then gnana yoga, and then we came to bhakti yoga, right? So all of us, for us, Bhagavad Gita is like an instruction manual, like how a toys, for kids comes with instruction manual. How everything we use in our everyday to day life, from the detergent powder to the clothes we purchase, everything comes with a particular set of instructions. Similarly, okay, even to live a life, okay, in a dharmic way, which means a set of rules that are set to us by the Lord. Who is he's the law, okay, like he created this law for us so that we follow this particular pattern of life and go back to him and be his servants. But what have we done? We have like not only not neglected the law, but we have went against the law and made the whole system collapse. So hence the God has to take yada yada hi dharmasya. So to again establish this dharma again, okay, only God can establish dharma. No one else can establish dharma. So the so-called people who come and who claim, saying that this is the religion. Okay, for example, Muslim or a Christian, if they come and they say, you can tell me how old Christianity is, maybe 3,000, 4,000 years old, or same the same thing we can talk about Islam. The same, all of these religions are new, and they say that their messengers have come. In Muslims, they say that there's kind of like the prophets have come, right? And in Christianity we see like an Old Testament and a New Testament, and then we see that Jesus is the Son of God. But that's not the thing over here that matters. The God is the only one who can establish religion, and no one else can establish. Okay, and Srila Prabhupada makes this point very valid, and he says dharma means understanding one's occupational duty, which is their own character. And this is also proved, okay, in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada translates in I think verse Canto 6, yeah, verse 3 or something. In that, Prabhupada says that dharma means the order that is given to us, okay, by God. It's like a law. So example, every government sets so many laws, right? Rules and regulations that a person needs to follow. Similarly, yeah, like example, this is a particular government in India says that you're supposed to sit in the right side, okay, the drivers, whereas the drivers in the UK are supposed to sit in left. Doesn't mean that God had given two different instructions. The law is one. The people, okay, they change the law according to their own willingness. Okay, like how in Bible we see so many versions. As the time had progressed, new rules have come, new regulations have come, things that didn't exist before. That's why Krishna over here, when the starting of this chapter we see, right, Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna, I first imparted this knowledge to whom? Krishna first imparts this knowledge to
Yes, sir.
Sun God.
The
Sun
sun
God.
god, exactly, right. And then he says, and and then he instructed it to his son, okay, Ikshvaku, and then Manu, and like this it went on. But what happened? There was a cut in this, means some kind of rules and regulations were changed. Okay, so hence I am telling this to you again. I'm telling this dharma to you again. Okay, so that you continue and preach this to the coming generation. So over here, Arjuna is very intelligent. Okay, so over here, there was no need for Arjuna to actually, because he already knows they both are Nara and Narayana. But Arjuna asks all of these questions for us. Okay. Mataji, would you please continue with the purport?
Sure, Mataji.
One thing, I'll just share the screen, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, please do.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Sri Prabhupada Pujya. The word Srijami is significant herein. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation because, according to the previous verse, there is no creation of the Lord's form or body. Since all of the forms are eternally existing. Therefore, Srijami means that the Lord manifests himself as he is. Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of Dwapar Yuga of the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu in one day of Brahma, he has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations because he is completely free to act in many ways at his will. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of irreligiosity and disappearance of true religion. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of the Vedas making one irreligious. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that such principles are the laws of the Lord. Only the Lord can manufacture a system of religion. The Vedas are also accepted as originally spoken by the Lord himself to Brahma from within his heart. Therefore, the principles of Dharma or religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharma tu Sakshad Bhagavat Pranitam. These principles are clearly indicated throughout the Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of the Veda is to establish such principles under the order of the Supreme Lord, and the Lord directly orders at the end of the Gita that the highest principles of religion is to surrender unto Him only and nothing more. The Vedic principles push one towards complete surrender unto Him, and whenever such principles are distributed by the demonic, the Lord appears. From the Bhagavatam.
Just one second. Till here, I'll explain and then we can continue, Mataji. Yeah. So over here, we can see clearly, okay, what they say. So to be very precise, okay, Lord Krishna appears on the 7th Manu, okay, on the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu. So right now, does anyone know which Manvantara we are in? Like which Manvantara we actually come from right now? It's called, yeah, Mataji, yes?
7th Mataji.
Yeah, the 7th, yeah, correct.
Vaivashva Manvantara.
Correct, yes, Nandini Mataji, correct, yes. Vaivashvata Manvantara, right? And it is the 28th millennium of that particular Manvantara, and it comes under the 7th Manu, right? So this only happens once in Brahma Day. So only in one Brahma Day does Lord Krishna appear, right? So we've learned this a little bit in the starting, but it is more elaborately explained in Bhagavatam, right? This one day, in 100 years of Brahma, only one day Krishna comes as Swayam Bhagavan on top of all this, right? So Swayam Bhagavan means in his original form. And we are so fortunate that this form had taken place in this particular Manvantara, in this particular Dwapara Yuga, right? So we, like our ancestors or whoever they were, they saw Swayam Bhagavan, means Krishna had manifested himself in this Yuga. So we are so fortunate that this Bhagavad Gita was actually Swayam Krishna. So all his form, the way he looked, everything, he was Swayam Bhagwan, direct from Goloka, right? So Srila Prabhupada says, we are so fortunate, not only Sri Krishna, but even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as Swayam Rupa. Swayam means as it is, the same form that exists in the spiritual world. So only 1/4 of this world is material world among the whole. The 3/4 is actually spiritual world, right? So in this 1/4 world, 1/4 of material creation, we are like the most tiniest atom. So Krishna does not only appear in this particular universe, right? There's so many hundreds and thousands of universe. So every universe he appears as Swayam Rupa in this one particular day, and that comes on the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu, and that comes under the Vaivasvata Manvantra. So this particular Manvantra we are in is called Vaivasvata Manvantra, and we are in this Kali Yuga. And what is our benediction is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as a Swayam Rupa, right? He manifested saying that first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga is going to be a golden age because of his Swayam Rupa. So we got the benediction saying that in this particular first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga, we get to do the best kind of austerities. Yeah. So we are given this benediction. So imagine how lucky all of us are in this particular Yuga to be born, okay, in this particular Manvantra. So Srila Prabhupada emphasizes on all this. And like how Mataji has read, okay, our occupational duty. About this, Krishna mentions in the last verse, I think everyone knows this very well. Okay, 18th chapter, 66th verse. Okay, Sarva Dharma Parityajya. Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. What does Krishna say in this verse? He says, abandon all types of religions. So Krishna is giving a direct statement saying, all religions, whatever we are following, are all fake. They are not the dharma that I manifested. So abandon all religion and just surrender onto me, he says. So like how like Mataji has said in the beginning, okay, what is the duty of us? It is to serve, right? And surrender onto Krishna. That is the first duty of a soul, right? So we have taken the birth in this 1/4 material manifestation to become servant of the Lord. So when we cross the servant stage, and when we try to imitate God or try to lead a life or want to become God like the impersonal, or who reject God, okay, we face the consequences of being in this dukhalaya mashasvatam, right? So the dharma plays such an important role that just understanding the real meaning of dharma, that dharma means just not a religion or a faith, okay, but it is a way of living, how one lives, okay. For example, today I can be a Hindu, okay, but tomorrow I can be a Muslim if I am religious in nature, right? Because some kind of thing can inspire me and I can change my religion, so this kind of things can be interchanged, but dharma is constant. Dharma cannot change. No one can change dharma. Dharma is forever. And there's no way you can change dharma. For example, there's New Testimony and Old Testimony, and there's like some kind of different translations. All of this is religion. Religion can be changed, rewritten, or it can be understand like people can understand it in different ways. But dharma, it is unchangeable. Only Lord can establish it, and he keeps re-establishing it, which we see in the next verse, right? Paritranaya sadhana. We see how he always comes to even re-establish dharma. So no scriptures ever that exist, okay, it can be the Quran or the Bible or even our scriptures, no scripture says there is no God. Then why are people becoming atheist in nature? Why are people becoming saying there's no God? Because even in their scriptures it doesn't say that there is no God. This is actually like, yes, Nandini Mataji is right. Okay, there's an analogy that Srila Prabhupada says that sugar's nature is sweet, right? And chili's nature is hot, right? If I come and say that chili is sweet and sugar is hot, okay, my claim will not become true. But then people who want to believe, they will believe. The same way atheist is a kind of class group where they propose this thing, okay, towards a godless society. So this is actually some of the indications we get of Kali Yuga, right? So from here, Lord says that, and also we have so many references from scriptures that the God is going to come, and he's going to be born of these parents, okay, he will come in this color. So much of reference, but still people neglect to believe this. So these people come under this characteristics. Mataji, you can continue the next half.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
From the Bhagavatam, we understand that the Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Krishna who appeared when materialism was rampant and materialists were using the pretext of the authority of the Vedas. Although there are certain restrictive rules and regulations regarding animal sacrifice for particular purposes in the Vedas, people of demonic tendencies still took to animal sacrifice without reference to the Vedic principle. Lord Buddha appeared in order to stop this nonsense and to establish the Vedic principles of non-violence. Therefore, each and every avatar or incarnation of the Lord has a particular mission, and they are all described in the revealed scriptures. No one should be accepted as an avatar unless he is referred to by scriptures. It is not a fact that the Lord appears only on Indian soil. He can manifest himself anywhere and everywhere. And whenever he desires to appear, and whenever he desires to appear. In each and every incarnation, he speaks as much about religion as can be understood by the particular people under their particular circumstances. But the mission is the same, to lead people to God consciousness and obedience to the principles of religion. Sometimes he listens personally, and sometimes he sends his bona fide representative in the form of his son, servant, or himself in some disguised form.
Yeah,
The
Hare.
principles of the
Just 1 second, Mata. So as I just said before, right? So the scriptures have a particular reference, okay, saying that God will be born. Example, the reference of Lord Buddha, okay, the reference of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also the reference of Kalki is given in Bhagavatam, right? It's so specific. They say the place they're born in, the parents' name, the nakshatra they are born in, the kind of activities that lead to their birth. Okay, some of the symptoms of Kali Yuga, they'll say. So once, like for example, the symptoms of Kali Yuga, and the like, we can predict that Kalki is coming, is when all the gods, like the whole symbolism of God will not exist. Okay, the whole God conscious society will not exist. Even the photos of our gods, of all the demigods, Krishna, everyone will actually burn to ashes. This is what the Kalki Puran says, right? So there'll be no pictures of God at all, no symbols, nothing. Okay, and maybe for 1 crore population, one child will be born. That is the fertility rate at that point, and that child will also not be at their healthiest. Okay, and the age of dying will be somewhere between 15 to 20. So people will die between that time, because the environment is not good. All kinds of diseases will come, and there is no sunshine at all, because no God exists. So even sun god will also not exist. He's always under the clouds or something like that. So we can't even see gods who are visible to our eyes. So that is the symptom of Kali Yuga. So when we come to that point, that's when he will take birth. So see, such detailed description is given in our scriptures, that these particular god, and we've seen it happen with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with Lord Buddha, right? So that's why our belief system is so strong, and Srimad Bhagavatam always predicts it right, because it was written by God himself again. Veda Vyasa was Krishna's incarnation only. Okay, so Mataji, you can continue.
The principles of the Bhagavad Gita were spoken to Arjuna, and for that matter, to other highly elevated persons, because he was highly advanced compared to ordinary persons in other parts of the world. 2 plus 2 equals 4 is a mathematical principle that is true in the beginner's arithmetic class and in the advanced class as well. Still, there are higher and lower mathematics. In all incarnations of the Lord, therefore, the same principles are taught, but they appear to be higher and lower in varied circumstances. The higher principles of religion begin with the acceptance of the 4 orders and the 4 statuses of social life, as will be explained later. The whole purpose of the mission of incarnations is to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. Such consciousness is manifest and non-manifest only under different circumstances. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So beautifully explained by Srila Prabhupada. He says that 2 plus 2 is 4 universally, right? But then in maths, we have a higher professor, we have a college professor, and we have a school teacher, right? There are different levels to it. Similarly, in incarnations, we have different levels of incarnations, right? For example, when Rama was when he was doing his avatar, Parasurama also was there, right? And Parasurama and Rama also had a face on face. And a lot of people say when both of them face to face, Rama was actually more powerful and virtuous in nature. Okay, so some avatars are higher than the other avatars, but the whole thing is everyone are on the same equation. Okay, they all come for what? Yada yada hi dharmasya and paritranaya sadhuna. The purpose is the same, but the level of intensity changes for every avatar depending on the purpose of why they have ascended on this particular material world. The whole concept of this 4.7 verse is, why does Lord appear in this material world? So why does he appear in this material? Why can't he send his messengers? Why can't he send his representatives like the demigods? Why does he swayam appear? Because other scriptures say, right, like we don't, like God doesn't have a form, right? He's formless. So hence, like his messengers come to deliver message. So why does Krishna come particularly to this material world in his original form? Any reason? Anyone knows in particular?
Because actually he loves to please the devotees, and he wants to be with us. So for the pure souls he comes.
Very good. So this is what we're going to see in the next verse, right? So Paritranaya Sadhuna, just for his devotees, just for the pleasure of his devotees, because his devotees meditate on them. If, example, a devotee meditates on Lord Shiva, okay, for like few thousand of years, they get penance and they get boons, right? But Lord Vishnu devotees are so sincere that they just want to see him. They don't want anything else. Lord Vishnu devotees always want to, like Dhruv Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj. See, or Prahalad Maharaj, what was their aim? They never wanted like money, or even if Prahalad, if Parikshit Maharaj wanted, he could have asked it, he could have like done meditation and asked more life, right? But he didn't do that. He chose to just be in the association of sadhus, like devotees of Lord, hear his stories and everything. So Lord Vishnu devotees are always like that. So hence he wants to reciprocate the same feeling for his devotees. So he wants to come over here and interact with all of us, be with us, and also like even he has a desire to experience all types of rasas, right? So we've seen him go through so many rasas. So in Dwapara Yuga, he wanted the core of Vatsalya rasa, right? So Krishna takes, he comes as Swayam Bhagavan. So he wants to do 100%. So even from the age of 3 months, right, we can see him performing such amazing leelas like the Putana Leela and everything, right? So with that, this verse is done. Who wants to read the next verse? 4.8. Any volunteers? Yes, Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'll just share the screen, Mataji. Just give me.
Okay. परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. And
Mataji, translation.
Translation?
Yes, Mataji. Please see the translation also.
Okay, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Yes, Mataji, I'll just explain this and then you can continue with the purport, right?
Okay.
Okay, now over here, Paritranaya Sadhunam. Okay, Paritranaya Sadhunam means to protect the devotees. Okay, so the Lord comes here to save the devotees who have been tormented by all the demons or unrighteous people. So in this case, to be very specific, okay, the Krishna Avatara, Kamsa was like really troubling his sister, right, Devaki, and both Devaki and Vasudeva, he was tormenting both of them. That's why Paritranaya Sadhuna, not only for them, a lot of people were suffering because of that. And then comes Vinashaya Dushkratam, which means to actually annihilate the miscreants, means the people who are causing harm to the society, who are not following the dharma, and who are causing difficulties to his own devotees, like the people who are devoted to him. And then comes Dharma Samastapanarthaya. This is very important. Yeah, Dharma only the Lord Krishna is declaring over here that only me. Over here, he says re-establishing the principles of religion. Only he can establish and only he can re-establish. No one else can establish or re-establish religion apart from God, who is Krishna over here. So he comes over here to re-establish the dharma, which was not followed by these people, okay, by the evil, because they went all the way, they went against dharma and they did all irreligious activities. So he comes to re-establish the principles of dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge. So he does that. He also promises his devotees, okay, it's not like I'll only appear once, but I will do this every yuga, like yuge yuge. So every millennium I'll keep appearing myself, which means he also says that wherever there is good, there is definitely bad. So for me, it is a must that I have to take birth again and again, because there's always dharma and there's always adharma. Okay, this is the point that Krishna is trying to make over here. Mataji, you can start the
Continue. Yeah, perfect. According to Bhagavad Gita, a sadhu, holy man, is a man in Krishna consciousness. A person may appear to be irreligious, but if he has the qualifications of Krishna consciousness wholly and fully, he is to be understood to be a sadhu. And Dushkritam applies to those who do not care for Krishna consciousness. Such miscreants or Dushkritam are described as foolish and the lowest of mankind, even though they may be decorated and with mundane education. Whereas a person who is 100% educated, engaged in Krishna consciousness, is accepted as a sadhu, even though such a person may be neither learned nor well cultured. As far as the atheists are concerned, it is not necessary for the Supreme Lord to appear as he is to destroy them, as he did with the demons Ravana and the Kamsa. The Lord has many agents who are quite competent to vanquish demons, but the Lord especially descends to appease his unalloyed devotees who are always harassed by the demoniac. The demon harasses the devotee even though the latter may happen to be his skin. Although Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu, he was nonetheless persecuted by his father. Although Devaki, the mother of Krishna, was the sister of Kamsa, she and her husband Vasudeva were persecuted by only because of Krishna was to be born to them. So Lord Krishna appeared primarily to deliver Devaki rather than kill Kamsa, but both were performed simultaneously. Therefore, it is said here that to deliver the devotee and vanquish the demon miscreants, the Lord appears in different incarnations. In Chaitanya Charitamrita of
Mataji, one
Krishnadasa
second.
Kavira.
I'll just
Okay.
explain this and then we can continue, Mataji.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, what over here, Krishna gives us a clear definition of what of who is a sadhu and who is a dushkritinam, right? And he also tells who is an atheist. And here Krishna says, for this atheist, okay, they are not the people who are irreligion or something. Okay, they for them he doesn't even come. He sends his messengers. So we can relate this with Jesus, right? Srila Prabhupada tells a lot of time that Jesus was a messenger of God, right? So when God says like Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, he can appear anywhere, not just in India, right? He can appear anywhere in any form. But sometimes he chooses his messengers. Okay, sometimes the people like demigods can come, right? But before this, one thing people don't understand is the whole India was one, right? It was all called Bharatavarsha. All the continents were one. It was all merged as one. So it was like all of this was happening throughout. When they said they did Ashwamedha Yajna, the horses went around the world, right? That's what they say, right? It was all one khanda. And then later it got split, right? So the god performed his leelas and activities everywhere. It's just that we don't know exactly what geological location it was, except for what we have over here. So over here Lord says that he sometimes sends his messengers for these atheist people. So that's what he did in case of Jesus. That's why Srila Prabhupada keeps emphasizing that Jesus was a messenger of Godhead, right? So we see a lot of references of that also. So later also it is said, okay, that he only appears for his devotees, like Devaki. Because Kamsa was tormenting her so much. Shishupala was tormenting so many Brahmanas and everyone. So that's why he came. Ravana was also tormenting the demigods, right? He was using all the demigods as his personal assistants. So that's why he came, right? So he comes because his devotees are suffering so much in this material world, right? He doesn't want them to suffer. So that is the first priority. Because these demons are troubling, he will just kill these on the process of delivering his devotees and giving them pleasure. Yes, Mataji, you can continue.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishna Dasa Kaviraja, the following verses, Madhya Leela 20.263 and 262, summarize these principles of incarnation. Srishti Hetu Ei Murti Prapanne Avatare Se Ishvara Murti Avatara Namadare Maya Tita Paravyome Sabara Avastana Vishwa Avatari Dara Avatara Nama. The Avatara or the incarnation of Godhead descends from the kingdom of God from material manifestation. And the particular form for the personality of Godhead, who so descends, is called an incarnation or avatara. Such incarnations are situated in the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to the material creation, they assume their name avatara. These are various kinds of avatars, such as Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Leela avatars, Shakti Avesa avatars, Manvantara avatars, and Yuga avatars, all appearing on schedule all over the universe. But Lord Krishna is the primeval Lord, the fountainhead of all the avatars. Lord Sri Krishna descends for the specific purpose of mitigating the anxieties of the pure devotees who are very anxious to see him in his original Vrindavana pastimes. Therefore, the prime purpose for the Krishna Avatara is to satisfy the unalloyed devotees.
Yes, Mataji, one second. I'll just explain till here also. Yeah. I will also show you the reference of all these avatars. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just share my screen. Yes, can everyone see the screen? Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So these are some of like how Mataji has read. They are different avatars, right? So we are seeing this part, okay? And these avatars are called partial manifestations of the Lord. Okay, example, the Leela Avatara, Purusha Avatara. So Leela avatars, we know, right? Like every Leela that has been performed, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, all of this. Purusha avatars are Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshay. And Guna avatars are from the three modes, right? So Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then comes Shakta Vesha Avatara. There are two types, Shakta Vesha and Avesha Avatars. Okay, and then comes Manvantra. In each Manvantra, you know how the Lord appears, and then Yuga Avatars. Okay, this is most on color. So in Satya Yuga, he comes as white, and in Treta Yuga, red, Dwapar Yuga, blackish, and in Kali Yuga, he comes as yellow, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, yellowish gold. So these are some all of these avatars. So these avatars can be like how Mataji has it anywhere around this thing. But Krishna, okay, he is the Swayam Rupa. So he is the original form of all cowherd boys in Vrindavan. Because the desire was to see him as a cowherd boy, and he wanted to appear as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. Okay, he manifests himself like this. Krishna also manifested as Balarama. Okay, so there are two manifestations. That is also Krishna, but in different color. Okay, so this is the whole expansion, theory thing. Mataji, you can continue reading.
Okay. The Lord says that He incarnates Himself in every millennium. This indicates that He incarnates also in the age of Kali. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, the incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by the Sankirtana movement, congregational chanting of the holy names, and spread the Krishna consciousness throughout India. He predicted that this culture of Sankirtana would be broadcast all over the world, from town to town and village to village. Lord Chaitanya, as the incarnation of Krishna, the personality of the Godhead, is described secretly but not directly in the confidential parts of the revealed scriptures, such as the Upanishad, Mahabharata, and the Bhagavatam. The devotees of Lord Krishna are very much attracted by the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya. This avatar of the Lord does not kill the miscreants but delivers them by his causeless mercy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, like the whole essence of this, okay, I think in the first paragraph itself we covered, right? So the same thing, okay. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chudushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. 4 points, right? But apart from this, okay, there's also another purpose of the appearance of Lord. Okay, can anyone tell me apart from these three, are there any points you can think of? Like, why does God appear? Okay, these 4. Okay, for the devotees, to destroy the demons who trouble him and to re-establish dharma principle, he appears again and again and again. There's also one more point he appears for. One more. Any guess? You can also guess. Why does Krishna appear? And why, especially in Kali Yuga. Okay, let's say that there were devotees in, Dwapar Yuga and all that. But why Kali Yuga? There are no devotees, right? By the time Kalki appears. That's what we heard, right? Before in Kali Purana. That time there'll not even be pictures of God. So people would not even know who God is. So why will Kali
To teach us the Maha Mantra, and it is an easy way to
teach his religion. Actually, that's true. Okay,
Religion.
Maha Mantra is basically religion. So what happens is, people will get forgotten, right, about God, and they get bewildered, and they become basically atheist in nature. They don't know if God exists, and they think even if God is there, he's not there. So they become unhappy, right? The whole point of our purpose of life is what? The soul seeks for the missing point in life, and that missing point is Lord Sri Krishna, right? So when that missing point is missing for such a long time into Kali Yuga, okay, the soul seeks the Lord. And because we are so forgetful, but inside, deep inside, we become unhappy. Now you see, right, a lot of kids or like the new generation people, they're getting depression in such a young age. We see all these symptoms that is going around, right, nowadays. Like, kids develop like anxiety and all these kind of other things, right? Because there's no faith, there's no stable dharma, a religion, a path which will give them a clear idea of what to do, what not to do. No one is teaching them. So they all are so lost. So they're very unhappy inside. The soul is very unhappy, right? So they are very unhappy. So Lord also says, discloses in this shloka towards the end, that not only for this, but I also take, incarnation for these souls who have forgotten me, who have become irreligious in nature. Okay, I'll teach them how to become religious. I will re-establish this dharma not only for the righteous people but also for the unrighteous people, and teach them and give them this nectar and make sure that they taste it. And if they do, they will come. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, right? He gave Harinam Sankirtan. Every village he walked, even today, everyone is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, from an iron wala to anyone you see. Okay, they all, because this mantra was so easy for them to chant. He has made it so easy for all of us, right? Not only that, every avatara of Lord has always set an example to us, good and bad, right? Rama avatara was always righteous in nature. Even Sri Krishna, who was so knowledgeable, okay, he went to Sandipani Muni's ashrama to learn all the knowledge, right? Because if they don't do it, okay, people will question. So he didn't go to Gurukul. Why should I go and study? Right? He didn't follow this principle. Why should I go? Like, people always connect with the negative points. Okay, they say Krishna had 16,000 wives. Why don't I have 3 wives? So it is always this point. Okay, so imagine if Lord makes a mistake and he doesn't follow that dharmic point, they will point it out more specifically, right? So even for those kind of people, Krishna had in his mind, and he's like, even those people, I will come to rectify. So I will take birth in Kali Yuga as Kalki, okay, and destroy all ignorance, okay, that is created by Kali Bhagavan, right? Even if the people don't have my photo, even if they're not chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they're not doing any austerity, nothing, I will appear in the darkness and bring light to everyone. Okay, that is the summary. Basically, it is not just these 3 points, but also he's always there for every people, because we are all his children, right? So he wants all of us to go back home to Godhead. That is the ultimate purpose of life. So Krishna is so merciful. Okay, who wants to read the next shloka?
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams, please.
Oh, sorry, Mataji, I'm not able to see your name. Yes, Shri Priya Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, pranams, Mataji.
Pranams, Mataji. 1 second, I'll just share the screen. Okay.
Text 9.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji, you can start.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tatva deham punah janma naiti mameti sorjuna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada teacher. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport. The Lord's
Mataji,
descent
1
from
second.
his...
I'll just explain this and then you can continue with the purport, yeah? Okay, so first, okay, let's just see the shloka. Okay, Janma Karmasya Medivya. Janma Karmasya Medivya means when Krishna takes his birth, okay, or any kind of actions he performs, okay, he's not forced to take birth or to act in such a way, okay. He appears because he wants to appear. And it's not like, okay, he'll only appear on the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu. If Krishna, wants to, he will appear even in 6th Manu. He will also appear in the 12th Manu. It's Krishna's will. So it is not that he's compelled to, follow this particular deadline or this particular date. Okay, it is his will. Okay, and he is doing it because he wants to do it. That's why Janma Karma Shamedivya. Okay, Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha means not just like intellectually or academically, but he has so much of knowledge spiritually also. So when he transcends into this material world, he gives us all of this intellectual, academic, spiritual, all of the knowledges are transcendent through his avatars to us. Okay, and it says Tvakta Deham Punar Janma means the person who knows Krishna, okay, in the truth, okay, and that person will definitely attain liberation. And there's no doubt, if he knows his activities, his pastimes, he's understood Krishna, then there is no way that he will return to this material world or ever be born at all. So it says Tvakta Deham Punar Janmam Naiti Mam Eti means such a soul will actually go directly to Goloka or Vaikunta. Okay, so there is no way that they will again come back to this world. And this has been promised to by Krishna to Arjuna in this particular verse, which means to all of us. Yeah, Mataji, you can continue.
Purport. The Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of appearance of personality of Godhead is already liberated from the material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberation of living entity from the material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many, many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is only partial, and there is a risk of returning to this material world. The devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and the activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world in this material world. In Brahma Samhita 5.33, it is stated that the Lord has many, many forms and incarnations. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, there are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empirical philosophers, as stated
Mataji,
in the Vedas.
sorry,
Hare
just
Krishna.
1 second, Mataji. Okay, I'll just explain this and then you can continue. Okay. Over here, we see, right? So all of us over here are promised, okay, if we surrender onto Krishna and if we understand that he has like so many incarnations, but Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, okay, we will not take birth again in material world. But there are still people, okay, like yogis and gnanis and impersonals and atheists, especially yogis, okay, they go through so much of meditation, Ashtanga yoga, sitting on this kusa grass and then keeping the eyes pointed to the nose and all this, okay, they go through all this, they still attain liberation, but what they attain the impersonal Brahman. So there's always a possibility of fall down from this stage, because Brahma Jyoti is a stage where you can still have material motives or feelings, where you can go there and you can feel envious towards God. Actually in Bhagavatam they say that the reason why we are all born in this material world is because we experienced one such emotion in Goloka, right? All of us were supposed to be with Krishna, right? And we experienced one kind of negative emotion after going there, and we immediately fell down from there to the material platform, and we had to go through all that 8,40,000 species and then now take a human birth, which is so rare to take, okay. And after taking, some people spend it in this being a yogi or a gnani or this mundane people, or whatever comes in, and they don't realize and they don't use this opportunity. So this is very unfortunate. So even if you go to this Brahma Jyoti platform, there's always a risk of coming back to the material world. So that's why Krishna tells, if just remember my activities, okay, or hear about my activities, sit in one Bhagavatam class, okay, listen about them, read about them, you will not come. Because once you realize that I am the supreme personality of Godhead and you understand that it is me who is the reason, Sarva Karana Karanam, we see right in Brahma Samhita, first sloka. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. One who understands, even Brahma also tells this so beautifully, okay. Sachit Ananda Vigraha he is, Sachit Anand. None of us can be Sachit Anand. So once we know that Krishna is Sachit Anand and the supreme personality of God, there is no coming back to this material world again. No dukkhalayam at all. Yes, Mataji, you can continue.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. As stated in the Vedas, Purusha Bodhini Upanishad, Eko Devo Nitya Leela Anurakto, Bhakta Vyapi Hrida Ananta Antar Atma. The one supreme personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationship with his unalloyed devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of Vedas and of the supreme personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfection stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version, Tat Tvam Asi, is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the supreme, or who says unto the Lord, who are the same supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently, his entrance to the transcendental association of Lord is guaranteed. In other words,
Yes, Mataji, just a second. I'll just explain till here also. So over here, what they say, the real religion is to understand our relationship with God, right? With Krishna. Now, how can we understand like the real relationship? Like, how will we come to this stage that, we have to establish a relationship with God. Okay, we know that. But what is the first step someone takes to understand Godhead? Any guesses?
Follow his guru.
Yes, Mataji?
Follow his guru.
Okay, follow Guru. Very good. That's one very good point, to follow the Guru. Okay. Any other points? First, we know, okay, we get instructed by the Guru. First thing, that is good. Second thing is,
When we see the form,
yes, okay, when we go to temple or somewhere, we see Krishna's form. Okay, and we get attracted to the form because we are material, we get attracted. I've seen a lot of devotees who only listen to this particular Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, tune, because they won't like any other tune. So that is like our material nature, right? We get very attracted to specific things, right? But the actual thing is the self-realization. Okay. I am pretty sure all of us who are here today, okay, we all would have come because of this one question. Okay, who am I? What is my purpose of life? Why am I a living entity? Okay, why are there so many living entities? Some kind of question that would have arose in your life. Okay, it can be from a good place, from a bad place, but it would have had something to do with you, like self-realization, right? Why am I having so many problems, or something like this, right? So from this question is where everything starts. That's why Srila Prabhupada says the best kind of student is the one who has a lot of questions, right? So because when you're self-realized, okay, as a soul, you'll have so many questions. And the perfect student to learn Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam is the one who has a lot of questions. Okay, very simple example. Bhagavatam starts with questions, right? All the sages come to the Naimisharanya to ask questions to Sutta Goswami, right? So all of this starts because of questioning only. So we all have to have the tendency of questioning. Okay, like it doesn't mean that we can ask all kind of questions, but self-realized, anything that makes us more self-realized. So what they say is to know our real identity. Okay, that we are the eternal servants of God. How do we know this? By questioning. So every time a devotee questions, okay, who will they question? A bona fide spiritual master, like how Mataji has said, Jigisha Mataji had said, okay. You question your spiritual master, someone who comes under the bona fide spiritual master, not anyone, but who comes in the parampara, right? Even in the first page of Bhagavad Gita, we see the whole parampara list, right? Whoever come under parampara. So we come under Madhva Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Right, so we have to follow this set of rules under this particular sampradaya, right? So only in this way we will have a chance to go back home to Godhead, because our spiritual master will give us that chance for us to go back, right? Yes, Mataji, you can continue.
is nothing. In other words, such a faithful devotee attains perfection. This is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion: Tam eva vidhi twati mrityum iti na anya pantaha vidyate ananyaha. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve this perfection. Shveteshwara Upanishad 3.8. That there is no alternative means that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey or by interpreting the Bhagavad Gita according to the mundane scholarship. Such empirical philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. Hare Krishna, Bharti. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hari Bol. So beautifully explained by Prabhupada. Okay, he simply says that all these philosophers, okay, who can have a PhD also, okay, in various spiritual degrees, it doesn't matter. Okay, what is the use when they don't understand the real knowledge? Okay, and we know that Bhagavad Gita has been translated into so many languages, right, by so many English people. When British came and ruled us, they would have actually read all the scriptures and translated and mistranslated them so that we come under the wrong track. Okay, so this is called what? This is called karma. Okay, and this, especially this one, is called vikarma. I think I think in the future, like in the next following verses, okay, verse number 12.15, 4.15, 16, and 17, we see these three types of karma, right? Karma, vikarma, and akarma, which means action, non-action, and then forbidden action. There are three types of actions. Okay, one is karma, which we all do, right? Which means like following, example, doing puja part, right, at home, praying to demigods, or wishing, for like material wealth and all that. This is karma. Okay, all of us accumulate this. Next comes vikarma, which means going forbidden action, which means going against the scriptures. Okay, doing like example meat eating or killing animals or things like this, something which is against the Vedas. And the last one is akarma, which is no action. Okay, what happens in this is you're following the religious principles. Okay, you're following Vedas, but the thing is you're not doing with any strings attached. Like you're not wishing for anything. You're not having any kind of benediction. Everything you do is as a duty or it's as offering to Lord Sri Krishna, you do it. Okay, for example, you're going and visiting ISKCON, a temple. This is no action. You're not doing it for yourself, for like sense gratification. You're doing it just because you want to go see Krishna. That's it. So this is no action. So only when a human, okay, or a soul is in inaction or for no action, okay, only when there is no action, when there's akarma, only then can we actually pass on from this world and not take birth again. Because if there is karma and vikarma, we keep, taking birth again and again in this material world. Because both have even if it is good action, even if it's like good karma also, you will take birth again. Because to ripe the, good things that you have done, Krishna will give you a better birth. For example, you will be born in an aristocratic family or in a very well-known popular family, or you'll be given a lot of beauty and stuff like this. So this kind of things follow up. But only when there is no action, when you're expecting no result, okay, only in that stage we will actually achieve actually going back to Godhead happens, and there'll be the cut of that repeated birth and death cycle. Okay, but to achieve it, it's not so easy. Okay, that's why we always say, whatever we eat, offer to Krishna. Whatever we do, think about Krishna. Always do Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. This is all we keep hearing, right, in Bhagavad Gita throughout. Okay, don't take credit for your action. Whenever you do something, constantly think about Krishna. Have him always in your mind. Whatever you do, don't like all actions you're doing, don't do it for yourself, do it for the pleasure of Krishna, right? So all of this is taught to us so that there is no action, there is no akarma. Okay, so that when we come into the stage of akarma, automatically the soul is liberated. Okay, there is no much needed, and you'll automatically become Krishna consciousness, and you'll automatically remember Krishna in the point of death, and we will go back home, back to Godhead. It is much tougher, said to be done, but still, this is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. That's what we have to learn. Okay, the practical application, it does take more than this lifetime. That's what I believe in. But at least one step at a time, we will come. Every time we progress, we aim at progressing at least one step, so that we will reach somewhere, by the end of our life. So that is all for today's session. I hope everything was clear. If anyone has any doubts, please do ask. We have we can take 5 minutes or something for question and answers. Any doubts? Are all clear, Matajis and Prabhujis?
Hare Krishna. Mataji, I have a question. Like Krishna says, Krishna is always present in one or other form. So
Yes.
how we define it, like when Krishna comes himself, or he's
No,
present
Prabhuji,
also.
Krishna is in us, right? Like as Paramatma, right? Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. He's present in all of us in heart, right? See, the best example is Narasimha Avatar. Okay, you point at any pillar, is there. You point at anything. Okay, because see, everything is Krishna only. Everywhere you see is Krishna, even in the walls, everything. First of all, he's there in our heart itself. A lot of people will say, we think disgusting things, right? We hear disgusting things, or we speak, foul things. But first thing, you have to see your body as a temple. Leave the puja room also. First, treat your body as a temple, because Krishna is in you. You don't have to go anywhere. Even you don't even have to go to temple to pray. He's in you. You respect yourself. Keep your body clean. Okay. Treat your body as temple. That is the best form you can see Krishna in, and he'll be so happy. Krishna always appreciates that action. We don't do that, right? We go to temple, we do everything, but we don't keep ourselves fit, keep ourselves healthy, keep ourselves this, and Krishna is there in you itself, Prabhuji. Right? I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Yes. So body is a temple. This is the first thing a lot of preachers I heard say. Treat your body like a temple, and you can find Krishna anywhere. Yes. Any other questions? All of you are so silent. I hope all of you understood what I said. I hope everything is clear then, yeah? So with all of your permission, can we end today's session?
Sure,
Yes,
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Mataji, the class was very nice, wonderful, excellent
I'm happy. I'm happy, Mataji, because all of you are so silent. I felt like it was too much or like you didn't understand. But I'm happy if all of you have understood.
Very nice. It was very interesting.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. We'll end with the ending prayers. Yeah. पाञ्चकल्पतरुपेश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
भगवद गीता स्कंद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna to all the Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji.